Hi, my name is Shikhar Pal, and today I'm going to discuss about RSA SecurID or two-factor authentication. Before starting about secure ID authentication factor, we just need to know why we need two-factor authentication. What is the requirement? Okay, so in a normal scenario in daily life, the daily activities, or in any organization, what we use to identify the user, how we use to identify the user, it is based on your login ID or the password, right? It means you need to log in with your username and password. This is the only way to authenticate the user, that user is legitimate or not. But there are so many other way by which your password can be compromised. Your password can be used by someone else. I hope you guys are aware, right? So let's discuss some of the key factors, some of the challenges, what challenge we face while using this type of authentication method. Okay, so the very common password challenges are listed in this slide. So password can be fizzed, means someone can spy on your password on your laptop or the desktop. There are so many other malware or the software that like a keylogger that can capture what are the key pressed by the user, right? So your password can be compromised. User written down their password. Some user do this practice, like they used to write down their password in the paper or piece of paper or in any software file, Excel, Microsoft Word, or any other type of document. So that because every day they are using different password for different applications or the personal usage. So sometime they used to do. And what is the challenge? Might be your diary or your paper can be stored in or miss anywhere. So that is the another challenge. Users share their password. Sometimes in organization or where you are colleague and you ask someone to do this in favor of something. So they share the password. So this is the compliance issue as well, right? Company is not authorizing someone else to use your colleague password or the user credential. Password can be guessed. That is very common things. Like people used to keep their password very simple, like their name and date of birth, their mobile number, their near and dearest one name. So these are the very common password people use. So that can be guessed also, right? And that stolen password can be cracked. There are so many SQL injections are there. Attackers are quite active by cracking the password. So these are the basic challenges with the old authentication method, or I would say single factor authentication method, right? Now if I'm talking about the organization perspective, what are the life cycle? And this life cycle, password life cycle is quite uh, expensive, and it's hard to maintain also. See, uh, in every organization there must be a policy to change your password in 60 odd days or the 90 days. It depends organization to organization, right? So what user forget to do? They forget to change their password, or if they are changing the password, they might forget what is the new password, right? In that scenario, what they do, they need to call to the help desk, IT help desk, and those guys will help to reset the password by asking some security question or employee ID or relative things. So that is what for doing this whole scenario, I mean doing this activity from the point of uh, s- forgetting the password till the reset of your password, that is it will take approximately 30 minutes or 20 odd minutes, that is the loss of time, right? And because whenever you called, before calling to the IT guy, you tried everything by yourself, right? And it might take around 10 minutes. Then you call to the IT guys, it will take around 2 minutes or 3 minutes to connect with them. And once they reset the password, then you can use your work. You can do your work with your workstation, whatsoever you are looking for. So this is totally waste of time along with cost. How cost is impact? As per the Gartner group survey, what they find, on an average 20 to 50% call in a day they are getting related to this password reset or password related queries, right? So it is also a cost, impacting the cost. So it's it's expensive to maintain the life cycle of uh, password, right? Now what we can do, how can we resolve these challenges, what are the options? So next thing is two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is something uh, that save your time, save your cost also. Let me tell you what is a two-factor authentication. How would you recognize what is two-factor authentication, right? So two-factor authentication is nothing but it is uh, the act of identifying an individual by using any combination of something they know, something they have, or something they are. It's pretty simple. Something they know, okay, something they have, or something they are. Let's come to a general example, a daily life example. Fine. So I hope everybody is familiar with the ATM functionality, right? Everybody used to go to ATM to withdraw their cash or what, right? So what do? We go and put a card and pin, right? So in that activity, what we know, that is password which we put, right? What we have, that is your smart card or the token or trusted device, right? What we have, and something you are, it's like a biometric fingerprint or retina scan. So that is something two-factor authentication. One, what you know, or what you have, or what you are. So this is the two-factor authentication, right? Got it? So that is what I showed in this picture, that ATM, you put your debit card, that is something that you have, your smart card, and that is, and PIN, what you know, that's something you know. It's two-factor authentication. Now, another question arrived. What is the need of authentication? Why we are focusing on authentication and again, right? So authentication is the essential foundation for trusted business process, right? Establishing trust by providing identity of the participant in a transaction, because there are so many compliances, so many critical copyrights data or critical information available on the cloud, right? So anyone can misuse those things, but what security we need is the right person can access the right information, okay? So once you're trying to log in, nobody can nobody can identify who is the legitimate user or not, right? If I am the legitimate user, I have to log in from here, and if someone has my credentials, and he can also log in, right? He or she can also log in. So how will you identify that the legitimate user, authenticate user is accessing those those applications or those resources, okay? In that scenario, if we have something unique, a smart card, a smart device, or something that no one can access those things, that will help to identify the authenticated user, right? Authentication is the foundation of other critical services like authorization or the access management, as I said, who is the legitimate user and what are the application or what are the information he are supposed to fetch, or he are supposed to use applications, right? Audit and compliance, that information cannot be shared outside, or that cannot be shared with the person who is not supposed to be shared by, right? So that is the compliance. Personalization is something that is user device application group organization. What is the user see? I mean, that is also personalization comes under the focus on authentication, right? Now, what are the market drives? We talk about, password criticalities, life cycle of password. Then we talk about what is the solution for and what is the two-factor authentication. What is why we are focusing on authentication, right? These are the three point we discussed till now. Now, why we go for two-factor authentication? What are the market driver to the RSA two-factor authentication, right? So expanding access, increasing number of mobile worker and telecommunicators, right? Expansion of the enterprise network or third parties, customer, partners, increasing the awareness of issues with online computing. So that is another factor why everybody this two-factor authentication is in market, and it's in very demanding factor nowadays, right? Increasing the sensitive information across remotely. As I said, everything is available on cloud, all the information whatever you are looking for your organization, or some application are there, you can be accessed from anywhere around the globe, right? And another, as I discussed, the problem with the password provide weak security. Multiple password are unmanageable, like people used to keep that written somewhere else or in the copy, right? Password are surprisingly expensive. I discussed the life cycle as well, why it is so expensive, right? So these are the authentication market drivers, but these are the point by which we can pitch to any end customer why they go for authentication manager, I mean authentication factor, two-factor RSA. Now, authentication choice, what choice we have? Earlier, single factor authentication, as I showed in the very first slide, that you need to log in with your username and password. So that is single factor authentication, that is very weak security. Second, two-factor authentication, as I discussed, you are supposed to have something you know, something you have, right? Something you know, that is your PIN, or something you have, that would be your card, your smart device or trusted device, right? That is two-factor authentication. And if you go further, it will take you up to the three-factor authentication, where you required your biometric scan also, like your retina scan, your fingerprints, along with the trusted device and your PIN. So that is three-factor authentication. As soon as you are increasing the security, it will be the more stronger way to secure your compliance and your security perspective, right? Now, what we are giving with the secure ID token, and how it works, let me show in this slide. Like, if you normally you use your user ID password and login with the password and the ID, right? But with the RSA secure ID authentication solution, you have a secure trusted device as well. So you need to put your login ID, password, along with this passcode. This passcode will remain on your active for 60 minutes normally, but you can reduce this to 45 minutes or accordingly. So once you send a request along with the passcode, right, it will send to the server. User enter passcode, pin, token code, right, and it will calculate the passcode. That the passcode for this user is the same which he is getting on the device, and then if it is authorized, it will give you acknowledge the user is authenticated, right? This is the simple way to authenticate, how client and server will communicate and authenticate the user. right? So we have two type of tokens. One is SecurID hardware token, another is RSA SecurID software tokens, right? In hardware token we have key fob. You can see here in this slide, this is our key fob. It looks like a key where is some number are there. Another is hybrid USB. You can put this device in your USB port, right? And if you are talking about software tokens, we have multiple choice. We have Windows based software tokens, we have Apple or iOS based token, we have BlackBerry OS based along with Android OS based. So whatever the OS you are using, you can use our secure ID software token as well. It's very good to um, install on your any device, whether it's a laptop or your mobile, right? Now everything is secure, right? You think everything is secure, you have two-factor secure authentication. What extra we need in this, what I want to say is, RSA token offers a level of protection against the password replay attack. Now I come with a new word, that is password replay attack. I would suggest you guys to go to the Wikipedia or to Google it, what is the replay attack. But in short, I would say it is an attack on a security protocol using replay of message from different content. Like you are putting the password, at the same time you are getting so many hits for the password. So that is something we are securing with the help of RSA. But there are uh, uh, what I say, I mean, uh, replay attack can be stopped by this RSA, but there is another attack type, that is a man in the middle attack. Okay, so in this method, your authentication manager is somewhere lacking a bit with the man in middle attack. You can also Google this. What is the man in middle? But man in the middle is something if your client A is trying to access the server B, right? But in between, C is another hacker, an untrusted person who is uh, who can mold that session between that one token to another token code generated. In that span of 60 seconds, he can do block the session, and on the behalf of that he can enter in the system and network to make changes, right? That is another problem with the this. So we come with a solution with the man in middle attack, that we have a risk based analysis also, right? Risk-based authentication in Authentication Manager 8 or 8 above. What is the risk-based authentication? What are the things we are using with the RSA? Like we use RSA for SSL VPN, web portal, OA, or share resources or shared points, right? What is a device identification, or what is a behavior analysis? You can see that someone is trying to log in, a user is trying to log in with the help of RSA token, or with any of these application. This active details goes to RSA risk engine. It will analysis the device identification along with user behavior. Once it's find assurance level, authentication policies, it's trusted, everything is safe and secure, it will pass and let you know, let you authorize you to do whatever you are looking for. If it find risky, it will send an on-demand token or challenge question. What is the on-demand token? It would be like SMS token or a one-time password on your mobile or email. And challenge question is something that you set for yourself, that need to be answered. If you are answering the right, your answers are right, then you will you will be passed to your application or the protected resources. Right now, another question arrived is what is the device identification and user behavior? Device identification is a collection of facts about user machine. Those facts are evaluated by risk engine for each device which interact with authentication manager, right? In device identification, risk engine when analysis of few things like device fingerprint. What is device fingerprint? It is like user agent string, what platform he is using, what are the patch and version he is using. That is what's device fingerprinting. System display, your monitor screen width, high, color, depth. So these are the system display what RSA risk engine monitor. So software fingerprinters like browser, your browser history, your plugins, browser language, time zone, cookies are enabled or disabled, Java is enabled or disabled. So these are the factors under the device identification along with your IP, your subnet, your mask. These are the thing can be monitored, that can be analysis done by RSA risk engine for the trusted device or the device from where the requests are coming. Okay. What is the user behavior? User behavior analysis is something what user are supposed to do on regular basis. Suppose if user is authorized to use OA only and he used to check his email and send email. So if he is doing any untrusted activity what he are not supposed to use, if he is trying to use the web portal, so that can be monitored by risk engine. Got it? What is the device identification and the user behavior? Along with it will also monitor the geolocation, right? From where you are sending those authentication requests. So suppose you are logging from Delhi and within a 5 or 10 minutes someone is trying to log in from Bangalore. So it is not possible to travel within a 10 to 15 minutes from Delhi to Bangalore, right? And device would be different, their resolution and everything would be different if someone is trying to access. So that can be analysis by RSA risk engine. So that is the USP of this product. We have risk-based authentication, right? Risk-based authentication manager engine is proven risk engine intelligence, protecting more than 350 million online identities today, optimized for enterprise use case, self-learning adapts to user population over time. What I said, it will monitor your skin and your behavior, right? Plug and play integration built upon existing SecurID agent. See, it will monitor your IP address, it will check your profile, what type of work you used to do, device profile, as I said, system configuration, device fingerprint, browser language, time zone, right, and the device token, right? Risk with authentication use case. What are the use case? Number one, basic use. I mean, most of the time people used to these things. I mean, people needs two-factor authentication for these applications like VPN, web portal, OA, SharePoint. Right? Targeted user would be employees, contractor, supplier, vendor, or the partners. These are the some common applications like if you're trying to access a VPN, you can use your RSA SecurID to authenticate user. You can application control, you can control the user, what are the application that he or she is supposed to use only. So you can also authenticate and set the definition that person is supposed to use only if web portal or the appliances. Web access control, that if there are multiple servers, if person is supposed to use only one server, so you can manage those also. He is not supposed to use other 2 number, 3 number, 5 number of servers, so you can also use this security. Restricted administration for functions, your Outlook web access, you can modify that also. And RS Authentication Manager 8, empowering end user through self-service. What is self-service? You can see this very beautiful look of your screen, like right. In this you can manage so many features. You can set your security questions, you can change. Along with that, you can also customize your RSA logo. If you want your organization logo on the page, you can customize that also. New user onboarding, emergency access, account management, set display options, multiple language support is there. So these are the self-service portal, self-service console, right? What are the benefit and and what is the positive of this? We provide customer support, that is from RSA itself, easy to upgrade. Management of this security is very easy to deploy. Within install in 15 or 20 odd minutes, solution is ready in hour. And the purchase is very easy. I mean, solution bundle up to 250 users, that includes software or hardware tokens or the maintenance as well, right? So these are the key factors about RSA. If you are looking to purchase RSA SecurID, that is the biggest two-factor authentication provider company, biggest company who shares the maximum market of two-factor authentication. This is some interesting fact shared by our customers, like it is sold, it just work, high assurance of proper authentication, the #1 vendor in providing authentication. This is not we are saying, this is what our customers feedback for us. So you can read all these. There are so many. If you go to Google review, you will get a number of review, and all are the positive, right? So that's it from my side for today, and we will discuss some other topics, some other security products as well. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe and comment. I love to answer your queries if you have any, and also share your suggestion to improve this video along with the technicality we will discuss some other day. Thank you.